Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
Today we're going to talk about something that happened in the early 1980s in Ireland, the Kerry babies tragedy. Do you want to tell us about the Kerry babies case?
Certainly. It received a lot of publicity in early 1994, in April 1984. There was two factors here. There was a local lady in Kerry by the name of Joanne Hayes. She had a baby. She had two babies by a local married man, and one was alive and lived. But the second baby that she had, she had buried it in the garden because of some difficulty with the child crying, and apparently she wasn't indoors when she had the baby. I don't know whether there was a midwife or anything involved, but that was the background to this Kerry babies case.
Okay, so Judge Lynch found that Joanne Hayes killed the baby by choking it to stop it crying. The state pathologist said they were unable to determine the cause of death. That was Dr. John Harbison. So Leo Varadkar recently apologised in Dáil Éireann. Do you think he was correct to apologise to Joanne Hayes as a Taoiseach?
Well, he wasn't correct, because prior to him making that statement, the Gardaí, out of the blue, had spoken about this Kerry babies case that happened in 1984, 34 years ago. It was long since forgotten, and the tragedy of that event and the fact that the baby died, irrespective of what way it died, it had died and was buried in the local farm where Joanne Hayes lived. So the Gardaí apologised for that because they had also associated Joanne Hayes with a baby that was found on a beach 80 kilometres away from where she lived, and which had nothing to do with Joanne Hayes, but they implicated her in that, and that caused a lot of unnecessary suffering, and they went down the wrong road there. So as regards Mr. Varadkar, the Taoiseach stroke Prime Minister, offered an apology and compensation when there had been no application for any of those items. Very unusual for that course of events to occur.
Okay. Do you think it would have helped if abortion was legal at the time?
Well, supposing it was legal at the time, I don't believe it would have been a factor in any shape, way or form, but if it was legal, then the baby was killed and buried for one reason or another. And so what difference would that make how many more babies would have been killed in a different manner by abortion? Of course it wouldn't be any help whatsoever, except to allow people to kill babies by the sanction of the state, and this is what we object to, and we don't think we wonder why this business of the unfortunate Joanne Hayes at this point in time in our family is going to be put through the mill again for some peculiar political expediency reasons to do with abortion.
Who was Ann Lovett?
She was a 15-year-old schoolgirl from Granard, County Longford. Her case, another tragic case, she gave birth to a baby that died, and she also died herself. And funny enough, it was outside a grotto. A very sad affair that the whole event occurred in outside a grotto. Now, that was a very unfortunate case. It received a lot of publicity, but the tragedy of that case was that the girl could not confide in her parents or in the local doctor or something like that, because that would have been the correct thing to do.
Okay. So why do you think they're bringing up these now? Is it because of the referendum we're going to have in 2018? Is there an agenda?
Well, there's an agenda here because the business of poor Ann Lovett, she was underage, and a person having sex with a person underage, she must have been 14. That's a crime in itself of paedophilia. So what inquiry was made to establish as to who was responsible for this act was never adequately investigated. The concentration seemed to be on the poor unfortunate girl that was in this situation. In 1984, there wasn't many places available for a girl to get advice kind of confidentially, although there should have been in my memory, but she didn't avail it for one reason or another, and that's the tragedy. Not the business of trying to capitalise on such an unfortunate event and associating with the dreadful scourge of what they propose, which is abortion run by the state at whatever whim they feel like enacting, depending on who's in power.
What advice would you give people that are going to vote in 2018?
I would tell them to respect human life from conception to natural death, as has been the situation for centuries, except for some unfortunate mishaps that occur in life. We all have mishaps of one kind or another, but to use any excuse and to bring forward this dreadful scourge of abortion, which is the crime of the century, they're not too far behind what the German Nazis and the communists under Stalin inflicted on their poor people with the extermination of people, handicapped people, people that they deemed not as healthy as what this master race that they were trying to promote. Is this the agenda that this government and opposition wants to produce some kind of a master race? Is that their agenda?
Leo Varadkar and the Fianna Fáil leader have been very slow to show their cards. Is this part of a strategy, do you think? Well,
somebody else is doing all the promoting, particularly the media, to their eternal shame, and the state broadcaster in receipt of the licence fee. You don't hear a balanced argument as regards protecting of life from conception to natural death. In other words, the most vulnerable people in society, the baby in the womb, putting an awful pressure on women, mothers, potential mothers, to abort and kill the babies in their womb. It's not kind of the way for any civilized country to go forward. The fact that it's in other countries, in Britain, resulting in the death of 9 million babies since its inception, and most of those, 90% of those, perfectly healthy children. They've aborted any child that might have some abnormality, to their eternal shame.
Thanks very much, John Malone.
Thank you very much.